Okay, so in this video, I'm briefly going to go over how to utilize the point slope form and also how to calculate slope when you're given only 2 points. So, point slope is what we can utilize to find an equation that passes through a point on a Cartesian plane with a given slope, right? So, basically, what we would have here for number one here in blue, so here's our x, y axis. So at the point 3 by -6, we'll say, right? We know there's a line passing through here with a slope of +2/3. So that means it would be coming up this way, right? So this is the line, but we have no idea what the actual function of x is itself, right? In order to figure that out, well, we're going to use the point 3 by -6 and our slope that's given to us, namely 2/3, would be, we call it, I have that written backwards, would be our delta x and delta y. So our delta y would be 2, that would be delta y, delta x would be 3, and that would be our delta x there, and therefore our slope is 2/3. Right, so all we're going to do is plug into y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Right, so we see here this is literally the point slope form of an equation right here. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we conveniently have all those numbers. So this is x1, y1, and obviously m is right there. So all we're going to do is put those numbers where they go. Okay, so I'm going to say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so I have y minus y1, which is -6, so y minus -6, so that's a double negative. I can say that's y plus 6. I'm going to distribute my slope into these parentheses. Okay, so 2/3 times -3, or if we come up here separate, we see that these 3's are going to cancel. We're going to be left with 2 times -1, which is simply just -2. So -2, subtract 6 from both sides, and y is therefore equal to 2/3 times x minus 8. Right, so that means my y-intercept would be down here at -8. Okay, and that would be my actual function for this. So that's how slope-intercept, or not slope-intercept, that's how we get a slope-intercept form equation when given a point and a slope. Now, what if we're given only 2 points to reference, right? We're not given a slope, we're given 2 points this time. So what that would look like over here in green, so here's x, here's y. We're given these 2 points, and we can go ahead and refer to them as x1, y1, x2, y2. You'll be able to see y here in a second. So -5 by +6, we'll say is about right there. -5 by +6, and 0 by 3. Okay, so that would be just right here. And that would be 0 by 3. Okay, and then, well, we can see right here, our slope's probably negative, right? Because we're decreasing from left to right. Okay, but we're going to act like we don't know any of that yet. But here's our visual for what we've got. Given these 2 points, we can easily figure out, well, what is delta x and what is delta y? Okay, just from this picture that I drew, change in y is delta y, change in x is delta x. Okay, from that, we have a formula that we can use, right? Slope is always equal to the change in y over the change in x, or even more specifically, we can just say the difference in the y values, oops, that should be a 2, over the difference in the x values. Literally the change in y over the change in x. So we can use this reference here to just plug in values where they go. Simple formula. So 6 minus 3 over negative 5 minus 0. We end up with 3 over negative 5 for our slope, or simply negative 3/5, right? If we refer to that as just, a whole number being negative, because that's what it is. And now that we have a slope, right? We have a slope, we have a point. I'm just going to use x1, y1, the first point. We can now use point slope again, right? So I'm just going to plug in where everything goes. So again, that's simply y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And there we see a double negative again. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. So y minus 6 equals negative 3/5 times x plus 5. That makes things a lot simpler. Then we're going to want to distribute our slope into the parentheses. We have negative 3/5 times x and negative 3/5 times 5. We, of course, know those 5s are going to cancel, leaving us with minus 3. Bring everything else down. We add 6 to both sides. And we simply have our answer, right? Which makes perfect sense. Y equals mx plus b. So my y-intercept we can see right there is at y equals 3. My slope is negative 3/5. Just put the numbers in where they go. So our visual ended up being pretty accurate. Okay, that was our little crash course in how to make use of the slope formula and point slope. Goodbye.